Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Sarah, your host, and as always, I'm here with my co-host, Bill. Hi, Bill. How are you today?
Hi, Sarah. I'm great, thanks. Excited for today's topic. How about you?
I'm doing well, too. And yes, today's episode is really important because we're going to talk about something many of us struggle with, not wasting our time.
Exactly. Time is one thing we all have the same amount of every day, but sometimes it feels like it just slips away from us.
That's right. And wasting time can stop us from reaching our goals, learning new things, or even just feeling happy.
So today we'll talk about how to recognize when we're wasting time, and more importantly, how to use our time better.
Yes! Whether you're a student, working, or just trying to improve your English, managing your time well can make a big difference.
And we'll share some tips and personal stories too, so you can learn from our experiences.
Great! So if you've ever felt like the day just disappeared without getting anything done, this episode is for you.
Let's get started and make sure you don't waste your time today.
All right, Bill, before we jump into tips and advice, let me share a quick story. Last month, I had planned to finish reading a book to improve my English vocabulary, but guess what? I spent hours scrolling through my phone instead.
Oh, I know that feeling. Sometimes it's so easy to get distracted. I had a similar experience last week. I wanted to write an email for a job application, but I kept putting it off and ended up watching videos online for hours.
Exactly. Those small moments add up, and before you know it, a whole day can disappear. It's frustrating because we want to do something important, but time just slips away.
And the funny thing is, we don't always notice it happening until it's too late. I think sometimes we just don't realize how much time we waste on little things.
That's true. For me, the problem was not planning my time well. I thought I had plenty of time, so I kept delaying my reading.
Yeah, I think many people do that. They feel like there's always tomorrow, but sometimes tomorrow becomes next week or next month.
So I learned that I need to set clear goals and remind myself to stay focused. What about you, Bill? How do you handle those moments when time just disappears?
Well, I started keeping a small notebook to write down what I want to do each day. When I see my plan, it helps me remember what's important. It doesn't stop distractions completely, but it helps me stay on track most of the time.
That's a smart idea. I think sharing these stories helps us understand that wasting time happens to everyone. But the good news is we can learn how to avoid it.
Absolutely. And in this episode, we'll talk more about how to take control of your time and make every minute count.
Okay, Bill. Now that we've shared some personal stories, let's talk about what wasting time really means. How would you describe it?
Good question, Sarah. I think wasting time means spending time on things that don't help us or don't have any value. Like when you do something that doesn't help you reach your goals or make you feel better.
Yes, exactly. For example, watching too much TV or scrolling on social media for hours without thinking about it, that can be wasting time.
Right. And sometimes people waste time by procrastinating. That means they delay or avoid doing important tasks.
Procrastination is a big problem for many people. Like when you have a big project or homework, but instead, you do something easy or fun instead of starting the work.
Also, wasting time can happen when we don't plan our day. If we don't have a plan, we might spend too much time on small, unimportant things.
That's true. It's like having a list of things to do but not following it. Instead, we get distracted by other things that don't really matter.
Sometimes people think relaxing or taking breaks is wasting time, but that's not true. Rest is important, Wasting time is when we don't use our time in a way that helps us grow or feel good.
Great point, Bill. So, wasting time is about not using our time well, not about taking breaks or relaxing.
Exactly. And the problem is, if we waste too much time, we might not reach our goals or feel happy with what we do.
So, understanding what wasting time means helps us see when we need to change. And that's why it's important to talk about it. Now that we know what wasting time means, let's talk about why time is so valuable. Bill, why do you think time is important?
Well, Sarah, time is something we can never get back. Once a minute or an hour passes, it's gone forever. That's why time is very precious.
Yes, exactly. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but how we use those hours can make a big difference in our lives.
If we use our time wisely, we can learn new skills, finish important work, or spend more time with family and friends.
And if we waste time, we might miss chances to do things that make us happy or help us grow.
Also, managing time well helps reduce stress. When we plan our day and use time well, we feel more calm and confident.
That's true. I've noticed that when I manage my time, I get more done and feel better about my day.
Another important thing is that time helps us reach our dreams and goals. Small efforts every day add up over time.
Right. Even 10 minutes a day practicing English can make a big difference in a few months.
So, time is valuable because it helps us live a better, happier, and more successful life.
That's why we need to protect our time and not waste it on things that don't matter. Okay, Bill, now for the most important part. How can we avoid wasting time? What tips do you have for our listeners?
Great question, Sarah. One of the first things I do is make a daily plans. Writing down the tasks I want to complete helps me stay focused.
Yes, having a plan is so helpful. I like to set priorities. That means I decide what is most important and do those tasks first.
Exactly. Prioritizing helps us use our time on things that really matter, instead of small, less important activities.
Another good strategy is to set time limits for activities. For example, if you want to check social media, give yourself only 15 minutes.
That's a smart idea. It's easy to lose track of time when we don't set limits. I also like to use a timer or an app to remind me when time is up.
Apps can be really helpful. Some apps block distracting websites or track how much time we spend on different activities.
Another tip is to break big tasks into smaller steps. Sometimes big projects feel overwhelming, so breaking them down makes them easier to start.
And it's easier to stay motivated when you finish small steps. Also, I try to avoid multitasking because it can make me less focused and waste time switching between tasks.
I agree. Focusing on one thing at a time usually helps me finish faster and with better quality.
Another important tip is to take breaks, but make sure they don't turn into long distractions. For example, a 5-minute break after 25 minutes of work is good.
That's called the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. It keeps your mind fresh and focused.
Finally, it helps to set clear goals. When you know what you want to achieve, it's easier to use your time well.
Yes, goals give you direction and motivation. Without goals, it's easy to get lost and waste time.
So to summarize, plan your day, prioritize tasks, set time limits, break big tasks into small steps, avoid multitasking, take smart breaks, and set clear goals.
Those are great tips. If you practice these, you'll start to see big changes in how you use your time.
Definitely. It's all about creating good habits and being aware of how you spend each minute. Bill, even with all those great tips, I know many people find it hard to avoid wasting time. What do you think are some common challenges?
Good question, Sarah. One big challenge is distractions, like phones, social media, or noisy environments. They can easily take our attention away from important tasks.
Yes, distractions are everywhere. Another challenge is lack of motivation. Sometimes we just don't feel like working or studying.
That's true. When motivation is low, it's easy to put things off and waste time.
Another problem is poor time management skills. Some people don't know how to plan their day or set priorities, so they feel lost.
And don't forget procrastination, waiting until the last minute to do something important. That often causes stress and lower quality work.
So, how can we overcome these challenges?
For distractions, one way is to create a quiet workspace and turn off notifications on your phone or computer while working.
Great advice. For motivation, setting small, achievable goals can help. When you finish a small task, you feel good and want to keep going.
Also, rewarding yourself after completing tasks can boost motivation, like taking a short break or having a small treat.
For time management, learning to use planners or apps can help organize tasks and set priorities.
And to fight procrastination, try the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This helps build momentum.
Those are practical steps. Overcoming these challenges takes practice, but it's possible if you keep trying.
Exactly. Don't be hard on yourself. It's normal to face difficulties, but with small changes you can improve how you use your time.
All right, Bill, now let's do something a little different. Answer some questions from our listeners. We ask them, what do you find hardest about managing your time?
Yes, we got some great questions and stories. Here's one from Anna. She says, I often start tasks but get distracted easily. How can I stay focused?
That's a very common problem, Anna. Bill, what would you suggest?
I'd recommend trying to work in short, focused bursts, like 25 minutes of work, then a 5-minute break. Also, turning off your phone notifications can really help.
Good advice. Here's another from John. He says, I feel overwhelmed when I have many things to do. How can I manage that?
When things feel overwhelming, it helps to break tasks into smaller steps. Make a list and focus on one small step at a time. It's less stressful that way.
Great tip, Bill. We also heard from Maria, who shared a story. She said she used to waste hours watching videos, but she started setting a timer and now uses that time for learning English.
That's inspiring. Little changes like that can really improve your day.
Thanks to all our listeners for sharing your stories and questions. Keep sending them in. We love hearing from you.
Yes, your questions help us make better episodes that really help you learn English and manage your time.
Well, Bill, we've covered a lot today. Personal stories, understanding what wasting time really means, why time is so valuable, tips to avoid wasting time, and how to overcome common challenges.
That's right, Sarah. I hope our listeners feel ready to take control of their time and make the most of every day.
Remember, time is one of the most precious things we have. It's important to protect it and use it wisely, no matter how busy life gets.
And don't worry if it's hard at first. Changing habits takes time, but small steps every day can lead to big results.
Yes, so start today. Set your goals, plan your day, and focus on what really matters.
You've got this. Use your time well, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve.
Thanks for listening to our English Learning Podcast. We'll see you next time with another helpful episode.
Take care and make every moment count.
That's all for today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us create more content for you.
Also, don't forget to leave a comment below. Tell us your biggest time management challenge or share your own tips.
And if you have questions or topics you want us to cover in future episodes, send them our way.
Thanks again for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep growing.
Bye, everyone. Take care.